What is good, y'all? Here after Saturday night main event. I know it's the night after, well, about 12 hours after. And honestly, this is one of the better Saturday night main events that they've had in quite a while. It was very entertaining from beginning to end. And let's get right into this. CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Now, it was a pretty good match. Nothing too crazy was going on. But as Sami Zayn is lining up for the Halloumi kick, Paul Heyman ends up grabbing Sami Zayn's leg and distracting the ref and Sami Zayn. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ring, we hear a crowd pop. Now, didn't know if this was going to be somebody or if something was just happening big that we just couldn't see because of the camera angle. But we then get Big Bronson Reed returning and driving himself and CM Punk through the barricade. Now, I know a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy about that because a lot of people were speculating it'd be Austin Theory. A lot of people were speculating probably Karrion Kross because we haven't really seen much of Karrion Kross ever since he gave that very emotional pipe bomb that he gave on a podcast. But Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker pick up the win. And now we do know after Seth Rollins is hugging Bronson Reed that Bronson Reed is the third member of this group. So it is Big Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Seth Rollins alongside Paul Heyman. Do I like this? I would say this is one of the better options outside of Austin Theory. It actually makes this group 10 times more scarier. I will say that Austin Theory being a part of it probably would have made a little bit more sense because you're pretty much grooming the next generation of world champions. But I can't say that I hate it. I cannot say that I hate it. Then we had Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. Now, in my prediction video, I did say I wanted this championship match because it was for the United States Women's Championship. I did say I did not want any shenanigans. I didn't want to see B-Fab or Michin or the Secret Hervis. I just wanted it to be a one-on-one match. Secret Hervis got involved, but we didn't get Michin or B-Fab. We got a clean win with a code red off the top rope. I think personally this is one of Zelina Vega's better matches. I did also like the qualifying match she had. She had a nasty code red on Julia, and that was really sick to see. I think it's a great move, her calling it code red, but then if you look at Roxanne, she's calling it Pop Rocks. I just think, there's probably a variation to it whatsoever. But Zelina Vega gets the win. And Secret Hervis, I just think they need to do with that. I don't think that that's really something that they should keep going. I think Chelsea Green might outgrow this women's U.S. title division. And it might be time for her to move up to the main event, the Women's World Championship. I know we have Money in the Bank around the corner. I know she didn't qualify. But she could still be a transitional champion. I think that that's something that could possibly happen. And we also had Chelsea Green get busted open. I hope there's nothing really wrong with her. She was very much bleeding, by the way. But next up, we had R-Truth versus John Cena. Now, as a Santi Zap, fan, I've seen him call this out multiple times. He called out that R-Truth would come out like Cena to represent what Cena isn't anymore and what he used to be. I died of laughter. R-Truth coming out in the Ron Cena shirt, having John Cena on it, coming out with the flag, the hat, saluting, running down the ramp. Something that John Cena ain't done since Elimination Chamber. Now, we all knew R-Truth wasn't going to win this. I mean, this was pretty obvious, but it's the way that it happened. You would have thought Cena would have a moment of humility, you know, and he was going to shake his hand whatsoever, because he was going to hit him with the title, but then he was like, no. But then he goes even more lower, literally and figuratively, and low blows him. And then he ends up beating R-Truth with an AA over. And then he just walks out. He just walks out. Nothing. No celebration, no nothing. Just walks out. I don't know Cena really who his next opponent is for the World Championship. Now, clearly we got to get into the main event of everything. But I don't know who's the clear-cut, person for him to take the title from him. Then we had the steel cage match. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Can I be honest with you guys? I like the ending, okay? I'm not a fan of who won. Now let me explain. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, not Hell in a Cell, steel cage match. Steel cage match, and I honestly don't have anything wrong with the match. The match was fine, starting it off with a brawl and getting chairs involved, Drew McIntyre hitting a South of Heaven on Priest. I thought Priest was going to hit a Claymore kick just to one-up him. But we get Drew McIntyre getting his head smashed in. And then Priest walks out of the cage. He doesn't pin him. He doesn't climb out of the cage. He just walks through the door after asking for it to be open. And he walks down, and then he looks over at Drew, and then he steps down. I did not want Priest to win. I feel like Drew, he's in good feuds. Let me say that. He's in a good feud, if he doesn't have a championship. He's in a great feud. My issue with this, right, is that Drew McIntyre needed a win here. He needed a win, and him having a win is something that we haven't really seen in a while. He's been getting rolled up pinned. He's been getting eliminated. He's been getting not the right chances. So him winning this feud should have been the right decision, but they went with Damian Priest instead. Now, with them going with Damian Priest, I hope that there's a bigger path for Drew, because Drew's on a downhill spiral right now. Getting rolled up, pinned left and right by Jimmy and by Priest. He did beat Priest at WrestleMania, so he got a WrestleMania moment. And that Claymore onto the chair in between the turnbuckle was really good. I just wish he would have won this feud. That's just me. And now, one of the most entertaining Saturday night main events in the more recent era of Saturday night main events, we had Jey Uso versus Logan. Pretty decent, solid match. Like I said, nothing too crazy. But right before this match, probably before the Drew and Damian match, we had John Cena and Jey have a promo. Which John and Jey were like, hey, long time no see. Ain't seen you since the Rumble. They haven't crossed paths at all. And then John talks about how, hey, I'm taking this title home. Your title's going to be held by a YouTuber. Hey, no issues with that whatsoever, okay? Logan Paul, he's a good wrestler. If he does become world champion, I don't think I would be mad. I just don't think it should happen right now. But going to the match itself, John Cena comes out and attacks Jey once the ref is taken out. And then whose music do we hear? Who makes a shocking return? nobody other than himself, Cody flipping Rhodes, the American Nightmare. And honestly, I didn't think Cody was going to come back till SummerSlam or till Money in the Bank. Him coming at Saturday Night Main Event really was not on my bingo card for tonight. It was nowhere near on my bingo card. But he comes out, saves Jay, hits a crossroads on Cody. Hits a crossroads on Cena. My fault. And then Jay spears Logan. Cody says, hey, you got your partner. I got my brother here, Jay. We'll see you guys at Money in the Bank. Which means that they're both going to be at Money in the Bank. Both champions. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's my thing. Money in the Bank. Both world champions are going to be in a match. A tag team match at that. So if you take somebody out during that, one of the champions, and they get cashed in on, which I don't believe is going to happen, I think that would be pretty interesting. Now, I'm not a fan of same night cash-ins, but I do possibly think that is a possibility. Don't know. I'm just speculating here. I also didn't expect Cody to come out, so don't take my word for it. Just speculating as somebody sitting home and watching the product. But let me know how y'all like Saturday Night Main Event, and I will see y'all in the next one. I'm out. Stay safe, y'all, and I'll see you guys later.